Welcome to Mornings with Patricia. Happy Wednesday. I'm sitting on my back porch and the sun is warm and it's Tuesday afternoon. And you know what I'm thinking about today? I'm thinking about imagination. I don't know if you are aware of Neville. I think I've talked about him before, but Neville, I want to say he was really big in the 1950s through the 70s. New Thought, a gentleman from the Barbados who was taught by a profound teacher, him and Joseph Murphy, and it was about the art of imagination, about having the life you want. And I was thinking about, the state of the world and everything that's happening around us, and I was thinking about how people personally are going through a lot of things. And I'm going to be teaching a class on You Can Have It All, because we can, because we're unlimited and there are specific ways to do that. But I just wanted to share a little piece on imagining today. So Neville talks about the art of imagination. And, when we're kids, grown-ups tell us, oh, that's a great use of your imagination, or, that's just your imagination. And so we're taught that that's something that is not real. We're taught that it's constructed out of a sort of non-reality. And so at a very early age, we kind of learn that, well, to let go of it. But imagination is one of our greatest tools, because if you can imagine the things that you'd really like to experience, then your ability is unlimited. So if you get a chance, I would really suggest that you pick up some of Neville's work. It's Neville. Or they also have some things on YouTube, and they just show his picture and then his voice in the background. It's kind of old-fashioned, but the stuff is great. And then there's a page on, there might be one on Facebook too, I think. Anyway, a Neville page. So check him out. His name was really Neville Goddard, but he went by Neville. So, imagination. Think about, this wind is kind of playing with me today. Think about, the state of the world and all the terrible things that we hear about every day, and how that increases, the amount of sadness and fear and all of those other things on an individual and a collective level. And that's where we're putting our attention. But if we took time to imagine, the world at peace. What would the world look like at peace? And then, really sit with that and really feel that and think about, what would it be like to live in a world like that? What would it feel like where you got along with your neighbors and all races got along with each other? And if we are collectively doing that, this type of work, then amazing things can happen. I love, to think about John Lennon's song Imagine. Because that is possible for us. That is extremely possible. Now, on a personal level, if you are experiencing things in your life that are making you fearful, or things you don't want to experience, then you can also imagine, right? But you have to make it very real for yourself. You have to go through the process, just like you did when you were a kid. And maybe you remember that, maybe you don't. But here's how kids imagine. They are ultra specific, and they take it from point A to point Z, and they complete that whole imagination course, and they get involved in it. So if you don't remember what that's like, and you like to read, think about when you're reading a wonderful book, and and you lose yourself in the book. You lose all sense. You're sitting like here on the back porch, but all of a sudden you're with the characters, and you're feeling the feelings, you're going through all of that emotion. That's imagination. And what happens in the world is that when we bring that in from the fourth dimension, we bring that power of imagination in, and we create. We create real things like this umbrella, right? This umbrella came out of someone's imagination. And now have to look up the history of umbrellas to find out. But we know umbrellas have been around forever. Why were they invented? To keep the sun off, to keep the rain off. Somebody took their imagination and said, what would that look like? What would that feel like? Not to have the sun pouring down on me or the rain. And they took that to the level where it was created. You see? So the same thing goes for emotions, feelings, any of those sorts of things. You're not imposing your will on someone else. We know at our basic level, which is our most expansive level, that we are beings of light and peace. So we're just bringing ourselves back to that expanded and expansive awareness to be at peace, to be in joy, to experience happiness, to experience everything we want. And of course, like I said, my class will go into specifics about this. And I was just talking with someone in contact, and I will be talking with them on Monday about how to do, online classes. That's not something I've really explored yet, and so I think it's time to take it out into the world, and that would be great. So I wonder what it is that you would like to experience, because that really is one of the key points. We know what you are experiencing and whether you like it or not, right? And so if you don't like what you're experiencing, the question becomes, why do you continue to experience it? Right? So, well, Patricia, it's in my face, it seems so real, it's so large, it's so overpowering, I can't seem to get away from it. You don't need to get away from it. It's not about getting away from it. It's about replacing it, with the vehicle that you desire. So, it's not that you have to run away from your old broken down car. It's not about that. You're simply replacing it with the new model, the luxurious model that, is your rightfulness, your right inheritance, if you will. So it's really helpful if you were to sit down and to make a list of all the things you are currently experiencing on a personal level, on an emotional level, all the things that you don't want to experience, right? All the things that make you feel limited or sad. And then, think about their opposite. Because, see, you're so involved, people are so involved with the experience that they're having, the ones usually they don't want, that this idea of the things they do want are rather murky. They haven't been identified. They're not 3D, right? Your other experiences are very 3D, and no wonder. You're a creator. Whatever you're thinking about or imagining, that's what you're experiencing. That's what you're bringing into your field. But if you want to experience something else, then you need to use your imagination and become like a kid again. Right? Dare to dream. Dare to imagine. What's it going to take from you? A little bit of your time, because you're already using that time with things you don't want, right? You're already inundated and overpowered by maybe the things you don't want. So take the time to imagine the things you do want, and some amazing things happen, right? The endorphins get going. It lifts the energy in the body. It makes you remember there was a time in your life perhaps that you felt, you were invincible. Everything was possible. And, age and experience does not change that. It does not change that. That is still possible for you. In fact, Neville did some interesting things where people would come to him because he was such a good imaginer. That, like, say people wanted a specific job, they would come to him and he would imagine for them, and he would manifest for them, because the key point here, it's with the permission. So he would give them the outline of what it was he was doing, so they would try to the best of their ability. And the man, from the readings I've done, had like 100% success, provided he got enough information and provided the people also were involved in that process, right? So, I don't know. I just have to tell you, the world is not what we think it is. We're not trapped in this experience, not in the universe world experience, not in the personal experience, right? I always say peace begins with you, because peace may look different for everybody. But when you feel peaceful, when you can imagine peace, and you think about all the other countries and you imagine peace for them, I mean, really imagine. See the people laughing. See them hugging each other. Right? See the leaders of the world talking about wonderful things, wonderful programs that they're putting in that empower people, that are not about fear. Imagine those things. Imagine. Right? And to the extent you can, stay informed, but don't buy in. Don't buy in to, the imagination piece that's already there for you. Somebody else has set that stage and they said this is the way it is. It's not the way it is. It doesn't have to be the way it is for any of us. And we don't have to fight against anything. We don't have to be radical. We don't have to do any of those things. We just imagine with love. That's it. There's no weapons here. There's nothing. It's just about that heart space and imagining this incredible, beautiful planet Earth, where we honor her, where we honor each other, where there's no fear. And, so many studies have been done about the meditation around that, and that it really does affect the environment. Something like 1 or 1/2% of the population can affect that. So if you're noticing and buying into fear, guess what? There's going to be more of. But if you imagine peace and calmness and love as sister and brothers of this planet, on this beautiful, beautiful planet, that's what we're going to have. So today I hope you imagine on your wild, wonderful Wednesday, and 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, I love myself. I love myself. I love you. And even if I don't know you, I love you, because I am imagining that you are loving yourself. I'm imagining that you have peace. I'm imagining that all good things are possible and are coming to you. And so it is. All right. See you tomorrow.